Now the main site of photosynthesis in the plant, that is leaves. In the leaves, that is the mesophyll cells, and mesophyll cells, for performing the photosynthesis, they possess chloroplast. So in the green cell, the site of the photosynthesis, that is chloroplast. That's why the chloroplast is also known as kitchen half of the cell. It results in the food formation. Now the structure of the chloroplast I had discussed with you in the previous chapters, but briefly I am going to tell you the main points associated with it. Chloroplast, it is a cell organelle which is surrounded by an envelope consisting of two membranes. Yes, so this one is outer membrane and this one is inner one. Now inside the membrane, the space which is present, that is filled with the help of a proteinaceous colloidal complex, and that complex is known as stroma, or you can also call it as matrix. In the matrix, there is presence of sac-like structures. So you know these sac-like structures, they are thylakoid, now the thylakoids, they are stacked one above the other. They are stacked one above the other, and this structure which is formed, this complete structure, this is known as granum. Singular is granum and plural is grana, right? So several grana, they are present in the chloroplast. So the several grana, they are present in the chloroplast, and it is very well known to all of you that these grana, they are interconnected. Yes? These grana, they are interconnected, and this interconnection is with the help of these structures. These structures, they are known as stroma lamellae. Or you can also call these structures as fret lamellae, right? Now, in the photosynthesis, these thylakoids, the membrane of thylakoid, they contain photosynthetic pigments. Photosynthetic pigments present. These pigments, they will absorb light energy. They will absorb light energy and convert it into the chemical energy, that is ATP and NADPH. ATP and NADPH is produced due to the light energy absorbed by the photosynthetic pigments present in the thylakoid. So this reaction which is occurring in the thylakoid membrane, which is directly driven by light, this reaction, it is known as light reaction. Or you can say the several reactions which results in the production of the ATP and NADPH which are occurring in the thylakoid membrane represents light reactions. अब ये जो एनर्जी यहाँ पर फॉर्म हुई है, now this energy is utilized for the carbon dioxide fixation in the stroma. So in the stroma, there is presence of enzymes which are involved in the carbon dioxide fixation by utilizing this energy. तो जो रिएक्शन स्ट्रोमा के अंदर हो रहे, दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली ड्रिवन बाय लाइट. So to distinguish these reactions from the earlier one, stroma के अंदर जो reactions हो रहे हैं, इन reactions को हम कहते हैं dark reactions. Right? So the directions which are directly driven by light, they are known as light reactions, where they are occurring in the thyroid, and the reactions which are occurring in stroma, not directly driven by light, they are known as dark reactions. अब ये जो reactions है स्ट्रोमा के अंदर हो रहे हैं, they are known as dark reaction. There should not be any confusion in your mind कि ये जो reactions है ये dark के अंदर होंगे. And you should not think that these reactions does not require light. Yes, some of the enzymes you will study that in these reactions which are involved, they are light dependent. So this is about the site of photosynthesis. Now here I will be dealing with the photosynthetic pigments. So three categories I will be dealing here, that is chlorophyll, carotenoids and phycobilins. So now we have to discuss photosynthetic pigments. In the photosynthetic pigments, I will be discussing chlorophyll. So you know they are green color pigments. And these green color pigments, they are of 5 types. That is chlorophyll A, B, C, D and E. The second category, that is carotenoids. Now the carotenoids, they are yellow, orange color pigments. And in this category, I will be discussing 2 types. One is carotene and xanthophylls. Now the last one, that is phycobilins. Phycobilins, they are red, blue color pigments. Now the 3 types of the phycobilins are there. That is phycocyanin, allophycocyanin and phycoerythrin. So इसमें से ये जो first 2 हैं, they are blue in color, and the phycoerythrin, this is a red color pigment. So let's first start with the chlorophyll here. So now let's start with the chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is universal photosynthetic pigment. It is present in all the green plants. That's why known as universal pigment. Now chlorophyll A absorbs light energy, and after absorbing the light energy converted into the chemical energy. तो chlorophyll A light energy को absorb करेगा और convert करेगा chemical energy के अंदर. That's why chlorophyll A is known as primary photosynthetic pigment. Empirical formula for chlorophyll A is C55 H72 O5 N4 Mg, and the molecular weight, that is 893. Now the chlorophyll A possesses tadpole-like structure. It has tadpole-like structure. Tadpole-like structure के अंदर present है दो component. One is head and the another one is tail. The two components, that is head and tail. This head is known as porphyrin head. And the tail is phytol tail. अब ये जो porphyrin head है, इस head के अंदर present है 4 pyral rings. Yes, this head it is made up of 4 pyral rings, and these 4 pyral rings they are interconnected with each other. तो 4 pyral ring है जो एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, and they are forming a closed tetrapyral structure. So due to the interconnection of 4 pyral rings, there is formation of closed tetrapyral structure. Right. Now coming to the tail, phytol tail. Now it is a 20 carbon tail, that is C20H39OH. Let's say that this part of the chlorophyll is representing head. Yes. So let's say this is head. तो हेड के अंदर ये जो 4 साइड्स हम दिखा रहे हैं, these 4 sides, at the 4 sides there is presence of 4 pyral rings which are interconnected with each other, forming a closed structure, and the dimensions of head is 15 into 15 Armstrong. And to the head there is attachment of tail. Yes. तो हेड के साथ टेल की अटैचमेंट है, दैट इज phytol tail, and the length of the phytol tail, that is 20 Armstrong. Now it is very well known to all of you that these photosynthetic pigments, they are associated with the thylakoid membrane, and in the thylakoid membrane the attachment of the chlorophyll is there with the help of tail. Yes, phytol tail helps in the attachment of the chlorophyll to the thylakoid membrane. So the last point I would like to add here, that the head is hydrophilic and tail is hydrophobic. Yes. So let's try to understand now structure of chlorophyll A little bit in more detail. Structure of chlorophyll A consists of 4 pyral rings. तो head के अंदर 4 pyral rings present है. So let's first of all see how these 4 pyral rings they are connected with each other. तो ये मैंने एक पायरल रिंग बनाया, पायरल रिंग के अंदर जो स्केलेटन बना हुआ है, इन द स्केलेटन देयर इज प्रेजेंस ऑफ 4 कार्बन एंड 1 नाइट्रोजन इज देयर. तो जैसे मैंने अभी बताया, हाउ मेनी पायरल रिंग्स दे आर प्रेजेंट? 4 पायरल रिंग्स. सो लेट्स मेक 4 पायरल रिंग्स हियर. This is second one. Third one. and this is the fourth parallel ring. Now these four parallel rings, they are interconnected, and this interconnection is there with the help of methine bridges. So let's say that these are methine bridges. Yes, these are methine bridges which are involved in the interconnection of these four parallel rings. So you can easily say here कि जितने भी parallel rings हैं, in all the parallel rings, nitrogen is present in the center. Yes, nitrogen is towards the center, and the carbons, they are present towards the periphery, and in the center there is presence of magnesium. Center के अंदर magnesium present है, and this magnesium, it is connected with all the nitrogens. तो सारे नाइट्रोजन के साथ connected है. With the two nitrogen, it is connected with the help of covalent bond. Yes, दो नाइट्रोजन के साथ connected है with the help of covalent bonds, and with the two nitrogen, it is connected with the help of coordination bonds. तो ये जो दो bonds बनाए हैं, these are covalent, and these bonds, they are coordination bonds which helps in the interaction of the magnesium with the four nitrogens present in the parallel rings. अब जितने भी कार्बन पेरिफेरी के ऊपर प्रेजेंट है, इन सारे कार्बन को हम यहाँ पर नंबर कर लेते हैं. यस, सो दिस इज फर्स्ट, सेकेंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, फिफ्थ, सिक्स्थ, सेवेंथ and 8. So these are 8 carbons present at the periphery, and you have to keep this in mind here. At the position first, third, fifth and 8, there is presence of methyl group. इन सारी positions के ऊपर methyl group present है. Now कौन कौन सी position यहाँ पर बच गई है? That is second position, fourth and seventh position. At the second position, there is presence of vinyl group. That is this one, CH double bond CH2. Then at the fourth position, there is presence of ethyl group. Ethyl group is there. So now which position is left? The another one which is left, that is the sixth position. At the sixth position, now there is formation of the another ring structure. यहाँ पर एक और ring structure form होगा, and this ring which is formed here, that is a cyclopentanone ring. At the sixth position, there is formation of cyclopentanone ring. It means if the question is asked here that head of chlorophyll, it consists of how many ring structure? So head of chlorophyll, it consists of 5 ring structure. 4 are parallel rings, and this one which is formed at the 6th position, that is cyclopentanone. Now let's see now where there is attachment of tail. Tail is attached at the 7th position. 7th position के ऊपर tail की attachment होगी, पर अब ये attachment होगी कैसे? You first see here that at the 7th position there is first attachment of propionic acid residue. यहाँ पर propionic acid add होगा. Acid means कौन सा group present है? That is COH group. And now here there will be attachment of the tail. Tail is C20H39OH. So ये acid group है, ये alcohol है. तो इसमें से loss of water होगा. Yes, there will be loss of water. So after the loss of water, there will be formation of ester linkage. So this esterification will help in the attachment of the tail at the 7th position, right? So there will be loss of water. And after the loss of water, there will be formation of ester linkage. And this ester linkage helps in the attachment of the tail to chlorophyll head. Yes? So the structure of the chlorophyll A, it is very much clear to all of you. So we can quickly repeat the structure. At the position 1, 3, 5, 8, there is presence of methyl group. Second position is booked for vinyl. Then fourth position ethyl group. सिक्स्थ पोजीशन के ऊपर एक और रिंग स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा. सो द टोटल रिंग्स एसोसिएटेड विद द क्लोरोफिल हेड, दे आर 5 and the tail is attached at the 7th position through the ester linkage. Means esterification is involved for the attachment of the tail. So this is about the structure of chlorophyll A. Now let's see what is the condition with respect to the chlorophyll B. Now the chlorophyll A is bluish green color pigment and chlorophyll B is yellowish green color pigment. अब जो chlorophyll A है इसका molecular weight है 893, chlorophyll B it is 903. Chlorophyll A is soluble in petroleum ether. Chlorophyll B in methyl alcohol, 90% of methyl alcohol. अब chlorophyll A और B का structure almost same है. That is, there is presence of tadpole-like structure. But in the chlorophyll A, at the carbon number 3, there is presence of methyl group, that is CH3, but in the chlorophyll B at the 3rd position there is presence of CHO group. You're getting this point? यहाँ पर present है methyl group और वहां पर present है CHO group. Now chlorophyll A का जो formula, empirical formula, that is C55 H72 O5 and for Mg. Now let's see what is the formula for the chlorophyll B. So if you see here that यहाँ पर chlorophyll A में जो ग्रुप है और जो chlorophyll B में ग्रुप है, कार्बन नंबर सेम है, तो यहाँ पर कार्बन में कोई भी चेंज नहीं आएगा. So again it is C55, right? Now here there is presence of 3 hydrogen. Here 3 hydrogen are there, but now here is 1. It means now the 2 hydrogen, they are less in the empirical formula of chlorophyll B. तो H72 की जगह पर 2 hydrogen less, that is H70. Now 1 more oxygen is added here. So instead of the O5, now it is O6, rest is N4, Mg is same. तो जितनी भी क्लोरोफिल है उसके अंदर नाइट्रोजन और मैग्नीशियम के जो एटम्स प्रेजेंट होंगे वो सेम होंगे. So the structure of the chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B is almost same. One main difference is there that in the chlorophyll A at the 3rd position there is presence of methyl group and in the chlorophyll B there is presence of CHO group. Now let's see now what is the condition with respect to the chlorophyll C. So now let's see what is the scenario with respect to the chlorophyll C. Chlorophyll A और जो B है वो सारे green plants के अंदर present है. But if we talk about the algae, amongst the algae, chlorophyll A and B combination is there in green alga. Right, green alga के अंदर वो combination है, and amongst the photosynthetic protists that combination is there in the euglenophyceae. So chlorophyll A and B is present in the all green plants, बट अगर सिर्फ एल्गी के ग्रुप पे देखते हैं तो सिर्फ कहां प्रेजेंट होगा, ग्रीन alga के अंदर. And in the photosynthetic protist present in the Euglenoophyceae. Now let's see what is the scenario with respect to the chlorophyll C. Chlorophyll C is present in diatoms and dinoflagellates. Diatoms and dinoflagellates, they are photosynthetic protists, and among the algae present in brown alga, now in the chlorophyll C again there is presence of that porphyrin head is present, and the head of the chlorophyll C, that is almost similar to the chlorophyll A. Few changes are there, but almost the pattern, the skeleton is going to remain same. So head is similar to that of chlorophyll A. But you have to keep this in mind here that now the tail is absent. क्लोरोफिल सी के स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर टेल एब्सेंट है. अब टेल कितने कार्बन स्ट्रक्चर है, 20 कार्बन स्ट्रक्चर. तो 20 कार्बन तो हम सीधा यहां पर माइनस कर देंगे एम्पेरिकल फॉर्मूला के अंदर. तो जैसे क्लोरोफिल ए के अंदर हमने पढ़ा दैट इज कार्बन is C55, but here the 20 carbon they are less because now the tail is absent, so it is C35, H32, O5 and 4 Mg, right? Now next one, chlorophyll D. Now the chlorophyll D is present in brown alga. अब क्लोरोफिल डी का एम्पेरिकल फॉर्मूला देखिए आप कैसे याद कर सकते हैं. यू नो दैट इन द क्लोरोफिल बी देयर इज प्रेजेंस ऑफ C55, H70, O6 and 4 Mg. Yes, this is empirical formula for the chlorophyll B, and the empirical formula for the chlorophyll D is just like the chlorophyll B, but here instead of the 55 now 54 carbon are there. C54, H70, O6 and 4 Mg. So this is how you can learn the empirical formula for the chlorophyll D, that is slightly different from chlorophyll B in one carbon. Now in the chlorophyll D, one major change which is present as compared to the chlorophyll A is at the carbon number 2. Earlier at the carbon number 2 there was presence of vinyl group. क्लोरोफिल ए के अंदर विनाइल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट है, बट नाउ हियर इंस्टेड ऑफ द विनाइल ग्रुप इन द क्लोरोफिल डी देयर इज प्रेजेंस ऑफ OCHO ग्रुप, दैट इज फॉर्माइल ग्रुप. तो यहां पर कितने कार्बन है, 2 कार्बन है, और यहां पर कितना कार्बन है, 1. सो इट मीन्स इंस्टेड ऑफ द 55 नाउ 1 कार्बन विल बी लेस, दैट इज 54 इज देयर. सो दिस इज ओके. नाउ Pheophytin is derived from chlorophyll. Yes, the substance it is derived from chlorophyll. It is known as colorless chlorophyll. Yes, colorless chlorophyll in the pheophytin. Now what is there, how it is different from the structure of chlorophyll? Now in the pheophytin magnesium is absent. Yes, magnesium absent है, and instead of the magnesium, in place of the magnesium there is presence of 2 hydrogen ions. तो magnesium की जगह पर 2 hydrogen ions present है pheophytin के अंदर. It is known as colorless chlorophyll. So now after dealing with the structure of chlorophyll, now let's see some of the important points with respect to the carotenoid pigments. So let's start with the carotenoids. Carotenoids, they are yellow, orange color pigments. These pigments, they are lipid soluble. Carotenoid consists of 4 terpenes. Yes, they are tetraterpene structures. टेट्राटर्पिन स्ट्रक्चर और हर एक टर्पीन के अंदर प्रेजेंट है 10 कार्बन. तो इट मीन्स टोटल नंबर ऑफ कार्बन कितने प्रेजेंट होंगे यहाँ पर 40. 10 into 4 tetraterpenes are there. So C 40 carbons are there associated with the structure of the carotenoids. Now the ends of the carotenoids, अब ये कार्बन चेन प्रेजेंट है और जो एंड्स है कैरोटेनॉइड्स के, these carotenoids and they can be open or they can be closed. Now what do you mean by open and closed? अगर cyclic structure ends के ऊपर absent है, then we will say they are open-ended, and if the cyclic structures they are present, then we will say they are closed-ended. Now the carotenoids, they are divided into the 2 types. They are mainly of 2 types. One is carotene and the other one is xanthophyll. Now carotenes, generally they are orangish red color pigments. Yes, orange red color pigments, and xanthophyll, they are yellow color pigments. Now the carotenes, they are completely soluble in carbon disulfide, and the xanthophylls, they are partially soluble in carbon disulfide. Now carotenes, they contain carbon and hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen is present, but the xanthophylls, they are oxygenated form of carotenoids. So they are the oxygenated carotenoids. तो यहाँ पर carbon है, hydrogen है, and now along with this there is also presence of oxygen, and the value of X in the xanthophyll for the oxygen, it will range from 1 to 8. Now one of the most abundant carotene is beta carotene, and the beta carotene, it shows absorption of wavelength of light 400 to 500 nanometer. Yes, this is the wavelength of light which is absorbed by the beta carotene, and xanthophyll ये light absorption तो करेंगे ही, but along with that they will also show the absorption slightly below this range, below 400, and slightly above this range, above 400. Now carotene के अंदर एक example अभी बताया, that is beta carotene is there, which is the most abundant one. The another one you can also write here, that is lycopene. Now lycopene is a carotene which is present in tomato. Then here xanthophyll, one example is lutein, which is formed by the hydroxylation of alpha carotene. जो अल्फा कैरोटीन है उसकी हाइड्रोक्सिलेशन से फॉर्म होगा. सेकेंड इज zeaxanthin, as the name suggests, it is present in maize. Zea is maize, and zeaxanthin, it is formed from beta carotene through the process of hydroxylation. So now let's see what are the major functions which are performed by the carotenoids. So now the functions of carotenoids. Now the one function of carotenoid which I will be dealing here, that the carotenoids, they work like the accessory pigments. अब जो मेन पिगमेंट है फोटोसिंथेसिस के अंदर विच विल एब्जॉर्ब द लाइट एनर्जी एंड चेंज इनटू द केमिकल एनर्जी, दैट इज क्लोरोफिल ए. दैट्स व्हाई द क्लोरोफिल ए इट इज नोन एज प्राइमरी photosynthetic pigments. Then what is the function of the carotenoids? Now carotenoids, they are going to help these pigments. Yes, the carotenoids, they will help the chlorophyll A. How they will help the chlorophyll A? They will absorb light energy, and after absorbing the light energy, they will transfer it to the chlorophyll A. So they are helping pigments which will absorb the light energy, or light energy absorb करने के बाद they will hand over to the chlorophyll A so that it can convert the light energy into the chemical energy. Now actually what happens, जो chlorophyll है it mainly absorbs light in the blue violet and red region. ब्लू वायलेट और रेड रीजन के अंदर लाइट एब्जॉर्ब करता है, और ये जो कैरोटेनॉइड्स हैं दे कैन एब्जॉर्ब द लाइट एनर्जी, दे कैन एब्जॉर्ब द वेवलेंथ ऑफ लाइट अदर देन द वन विच इज एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय द क्लोरोफिल, और एब्जॉर्ब करने के बाद ये ट्रांसफर कर देंगे क्लोरोफिल ए को, सो दैट द क्लोरोफिल ए इट कैन परफॉर्म द फोटोकेमिकल एक्ट. सो यू प्लीज राइट दिस इंफॉर्मेशन हियर that the chlorophyll mainly absorb wavelength of light, that is blue violet and red light. Yes, blue region और red region के अंदर chlorophyll light absorb करेगा, and what the carotenoids they are going to do, they will absorb the wavelength of light in the other regions. तो वेवलेंथ ऑफ लाइट को एब्सॉर्ब करेंगे, एंड आफ्टर एब्सॉर्बिंग दे विल ट्रांसफर इट टू द क्लोरोफिल. सो इट मीन्स वी कैन से कि कैरोटेनॉइड्स की वजह से जो क्लोरोफिल ए है उसका एब्सॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम, यस उसका जो एब्सॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम है वो ब्रॉड हो जाएगा. Yes, with the help of the chlorophyll A, the absorption spectrum, with the help of the carotenoids, the absorption spectrum of the chlorophyll A that will become broadened. Now, second function, they are going to work like shield pigments. Shield pigments का काम करेंगे. How they are going to work like shield pigments? Because they will protect chlorophyll from photo-oxidation. Yes, they will prevent photo-oxidation of chlorophyll. So now how they are going to prevent the photo-oxidation of chlorophyll? Now first you see here, when the light intensity is high, then what happens? The activated chlorophyll, it can undergo oxidation. The activated chlorophyll can react with oxygen radicals. Yes, oxygen radicals के साथ react करेगी, results in the oxidation of chlorophyll, which can cause the destruction of the chlorophyll structure. So this light induced oxidation of chlorophyll, this is known as photooxidation. पर प्लांट के अंदर जो कैरोटेनॉइड्स है इन क्लोरोफिल को बचाएंगे, प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे फोटोऑक्सीडेशन से. नाउ लेट्स सी हाउ दे कैरोटेनॉइड्स दे आर गोइंग टू प्रोटेक्ट. Just now I have told you that in the carotenoids at the ends there can be presence of cyclic groups like this. एंड के ऊपर साइक्लिक ग्रुप प्रेजेंट है ना. ये जो साइक्लिक ग्रुप है दे कैन रिएक्ट विद द ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल. जो ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल है विच आर हाईली रिएक्टिव उसके साथ रिएक्ट करेंगे. दे विल रिएक्ट विद द ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल. हाउ? नाउ दिस कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड विल ब्रेक. ये कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड ब्रेक कर जाएगा एंड द ऑक्सीजन is linked here. ऑक्सीजन यहां पर लिंक्ड हो जाएगा एंड दिस कैरोटेनॉइड जो ऑक्सीजन के साथ लिंक्ड है इट इज नोन एज epoxy carotenoid. And this one can simply be known as non-epoxy form of carotenoid. Right? So you can see here, अगर ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल फ्री होते तो ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल क्लोरोफिल का फोटो ऑक्सीडेशन करते, बट कैरोटेनॉइड्स ने क्या करा है, इन ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल को ट्रैप कर लिया है. सो इफ द ऑक्सीजन रेडिकल्स दे आर ट्रैप, सो श्योरली दिस विल डिक्रीज द फोटो ऑक्सीडेशन. अब डे टाइम में तो देखिए क्या होगा, नॉन इपॉक्सी फॉर्म, इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू द इपॉक्सी. Yes, that the carotenoids, they will trap the oxygen and protect the chlorophyll from the photooxidation. So it means they will work like shield pigments. This will occur during the daytime. And what will happen during the night time? Now in the night time, now the reaction is reversed. That is, the epoxy form is converted into the non-epoxy form, and this is done with the help of the enzyme de-epoxidase. Yes, during night time. This is okay. तो डे टाइम के अंदर ये कंडीशन होगी और नाइट टाइम के अंदर दोबारा इपॉक्सी फॉर्म कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी नॉन इपॉक्सी फॉर्म के अंदर. सो दीज आर द टू मेजर फंक्शंस व्हिच आर एसोसिएटेड विद द कैरोटेनॉइड्स. नाउ आई विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद द नेक्स्ट कैटेगरी ऑफ द फोटोसिंथेटिक पिगमेंट्स, दैट इज फाइकोबिलेंस.